Those are lunar tears, legendary flowers of almost perfect beauty.
You're kidding. Those are the ones I told Yona about.
Hands off the flowers.
Vice? Why's that lady in her underwear?
I fear we have greater issues to deal with.
What's up, fellow collectors? P-Rockzilla back again for another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the PlayArts Kai Kaine from the video game NieR Replicant. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not played this game yet. I did play the original that this one was based on. I did not complete that one. I probably played maybe like a quarter of it. So, I know the character, but I'm not 100% familiar with the character. I am more, I know the characters from the NieR Automata game. I do love those characters. I played that game, beat that game, one of my favorite games ever. So just because I have those in my collection, and I know Kaine is a big part of the whole story, I had to get this figure. So, and like I said, I do know a little bit of the character, like I said. So this is one of those pickups that, you know, for me, wasn't a must-have, but it's something that, to me, to make my collection for these type of characters and this game to be looking good and complete, I wanted to pick it up. But yep, so here's the character right there. So I'm excited to get this one out to see if the ankles are as crappy as the otts ones, because with the PlayArts Kai figures, that's one thing I've had an issue with almost all the characters, and I mean almost all the figures I have, is the ankles are usually too weak. So let's see if that's the same thing. So let's get this review started. Dale.
Tequila.
Let's take a look at the box before we get the figure out the box. So here's basically all white box right there. You have the NieR Replicant logo there. I love the little flower, the lily pad, or I forgot what that's called, the kind of flower. I'm not a flower person. I do like gardening though. Kaine in the bottom right here. You get the PlayArts Kai logo right there. PlayArts Kai right there. Action figure. You get the little official seal right there, the hologram seal. PlayArts Kai. In the back, you get a nice little image of the character here. Nice little backgrounds. I love the way that looks right there. This game, I do need to play because, like I said, the other game I did play, the story was freaking deep, and this is what I loved about it. Sometimes the games, the graphics are not the best, but the story and like makes you like and have emotions for the characters. That's what I like. And then so I gotta play this game to see if it does the same thing with Kaine. But anyways, there's legal information down here. I cannot read none of that. I could probably read the Square Enix right there. Barcode. Another PlayArts Kai right there. PlayArts Kai logo right there. Attention, don't suffocate stuff. And then if you open the flap, you do get nice poses of the actual figure from the game. And then right there, you can see the actual figure with some of the accessories right there. Oh, I do like the little lily pad, like the little flower. Once again, the flower. I like the flower they put here. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and get her out the box. All right, so once you get the figure out the box, let's get the box out the way. You're greeted with 2 layers of the clamshell. Top layer has the figure with all the accessories right there. Nice. It feels a little plastic. It feels a little plastic. It feels a little cheap, the clamshell, but it holds the accessories good. You know, you don't see anything shaking really coming out. And then the bottom layer, you have that funky base that they use, but most times it does work for what the type of characters they make and use them for. So we'll see today in this review if this base works. All right, let's go ahead and get her and all the accessories out so we can take a closer look and fine detail on everything she comes with. There we have Kaine laid out with all the accessories that come in the package. And once you get everything out, it is pretty decent amount of accessories that comes with the figure. So I'm happy about that. So of course, let's take a look at the figure first. And this. Now this face right here, for some reason, I don't know, maybe something about it, but just the hair definitely looks like her Kaine. I love the way the hair came out. It has like that real, like a silverish, transparent type look to it in person. But I just like the way it looks, a little ponytail right here. I mean, the thing wrapped up. Got the bangs going. The wraps and bandages across her body, which is accurate to the video game. At least from what I remember. Yo, look at the little culito. So yeah, she was, I'm gonna be honest, you guys know me, so I'm always trying to be honest with you guys, but One of the main reasons I started playing these NieR games was because, you know, stuff like this, where they were like, these characters were pretty revealing. I was like, wait, what? But going in there, I'm pretty sure there was another other video game players who were going in with, you know, the same intent. But once you play the game, man, that freaking story, man, like surprised the shit out of me, the crap out of me. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the articulation. So yeah, there. I mean, the paint application looks good. I like the way the wrappings look. The paint application right here on these little shin guards or shin wraps, whatever you want to call them. See a little detail on there. Looks real good. The wrappings in the arm. I love the hair, the way the hair looks. So let's go ahead and get the articulation. So the head, she can go sideways. You get articulation at the neck, and you get articulation at the head too. But the head's a little bit stiff, so might have to mess around with that a little bit. But yep. So I'm not sure if it can do 360. I'm pretty sure it can, but it's pretty stiff, like I said. All right, so she could look pretty far down, pretty far up, actually very far up. She can look sideways this way too. All right, so then the arms can go all the way. They can do the Y pose, so you get higher than the T pose. And then you do get, let's see, yep, you do get double bend at the elbow. And then let's put the shoulder down real quick. And then you do get swivel at the upper bicep right here. So you get the little salute. You get the little, ooh, get for that guy. Ooh, look at that. Anyways. So, yep, so you do get a good articulation of the arms. So if you put these up, they go. This part right here is a soft plastic. So like I always say, soft plastic is malleable. So you don't have to worry about the articulation too much. So the arm can go pretty far up. You do get that butterfly joint right there. Can pull down for more articulation. But yep, arms can go fully up. That's very good. Like I said, double bend the elbows. Obviously, you get articulation at the wrist. You get ratchet joints at the wrist. You can hear that. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's get this arm. Let's put this Y pose real quick. All right, so let's see at the waist. So the waist, you get articulation at the upper waist below the chest. You gotta be careful. If you do articulate this, be careful not to like basically grab the ribbon there, because you can actually probably try to rip it because it is pretty soft plastic. And then let's see, down here, do your articulation down here? No, not really. So it's all the upper body. This is all the waist articulation. All right, so the legs. You do get ratchet joints at the legs, at the thighs right there, at the waist. So she can do the split. And the ratchet joints are, you know, they don't feel too tight. They feel just good enough where it could hold a pose more likely. So we'll definitely try that out in the final pose. The legs can go forward. This is a soft plastic, so definitely can be malleable and you can move it out the way. So she can do like the little Olympic split. So you get to do that. And then my thing is, one thing I noticed is my panties on mine, they keep getting bunched up the wrong way. And it shows that joint there, so I gotta keep moving it. This is why, if you see that little mark there, originally I used the knife to move it, or the blade, I mean, because it just looked weird, and I scraped up a little spot right there, but it's all right. It's no problem. You're not really gonna see that there. All right, so there goes the articulation of the legs. Let's see the knees. Knees do get a double bend, so definitely good articulation with this figure. You get waist, you get swivel. Yep, you get swivel at the upper thigh right here. And on this one too, right here. That's the reason why you have that piece there. It's a little stiff there. All right, and then here's the part I'm really worried about, the ankles. Let's see. All right, so this one feels a little bit more stiffer. So hopefully these ankles are going to be okay. You do get the ratchet joint at the ankle. You can hear it. All right, so you can see how far the feet can go down and how far it can go up. So that's good. All right, so there's articulation on Kaine. Let's move her around. Let's look at all the accessories that she does come with. All right, so you do get a swappable dress, and this one, at first I didn't know what the difference was, but if you look at it, the difference would be it's more of an action based one where it's more fluffed out more. So if you want to do like an action pose, you will swap it out with this one right here. One thing Play Art Cards does do, I think Figma does the same thing if I remember correctly. They have these little pegs for the arm, for the hands. I do like that because it keeps everything organized. So you can see all the swappable hands you have there. The closed fist ones, open. Then you have, I know I'm gonna butcher this, the Grimora Weiss. I'm gonna put it down right here. The correct name of it, but I know I butchered it. But this looks pretty good, man. I love the way, like the detail on the book and the outside. Like it's actually sculpted, it's not painted on there, so you can actually feel it. And Nate, yes, open this up. There is words in there. There are words in there. There is words in there. There are words in here. So there you go. So this is, I love this. This is a cool accessory right there. Just the way it looks. You do get a broken blade. And now you get the two twin blades. You can swap this piece out. You pull this piece off right here. And then you can just basically have the hilt. And then the broken piece will plug right into the hilt. So if you want to swap it out, that's how it works out. But yep, you get the two twin blades. These are cool. I'm definitely going to have this in my final display when I have her out, because this is what she's known for. And then you do, on this side, let's keep it this side, you do get the base, the different peg points. You do get a stand. Now the stand is for, if I remember correctly, it's going to be for her. But there should be one for the book. Or does it attach to, I got to see the instructions. These are the pieces right here. I know these are the pieces that you will plug into either this piece right here, or actually no, either one of these two right here to basically have the book floating. So you can have the book floating this way. All right, this is the one that you will have for open. If you open the book, that's the one that fits in right here. You have the book floating open. And then you can have the book floating in general. I know one of these is just for that. Oh, it's this one right here, I think. I don't know. I gotta get the instructions real quick. But this is for that. Two separate waist grabbers. You get the bigger one, then you get the smaller one. You do get the lunar tear, if I believe correctly. That's what it's called. Little flower. Pretty good paint application on there. Then you do get the second face sculpt, which is more of the action screaming pose. And the way you swap that out is basically you take these bangs out right here. Let's see, pull that out. Oh, there we go. Yep. So you pull that out, head comes, face comes right off. Slide in the other face. And then put the bangs back on. All right, so there we go. We looked at articulation, all the accessories in detail. So let's go ahead and do some size comparison. And there we have Kaine's standard default pose ready for size comparison. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in 3 figures, 2 from different lines, one within the same line. The first one within the same line is gonna be the Play Arts Kai Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. One of the best games ever made. So there we have Tifa. Let's go ahead and bring in the Hot Toys Rey. Oop, come on, don't fall on me, Rey. There we go. And last but not least, this is, I know I'm gonna butcher his name. Satsuki from Kill la Kill. Figma. So there we go. 3 other figures, 2 different lines, one within the same line. So that way, if you have any of these figures in your collection, you can see if you want to pick up Kaine, how she would fit in your in your collection or your display. You can do comparison too if you want. It's up to you. But just want to help you guys out. So there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get the final thoughts and final poses. Okay, so in this pose, I want to accomplish 2 things just to see if I can get that accomplished. First was to get a pose with her with the yelling, angry face on, and I think that's pretty good right there. Easy to swap out the faces. The bangs come out easily. Everything goes back on perfectly. No problem there. Second thing I wanted to, actually, those 3 things. Second thing I wanted to try out was that extra dress piece. So yeah, the second piece, which she has on right now, is the one that's more of like an action base where it's like ruffling up, it's kind of going up in the front more. That you actually have to pull off the upper torso body below the breast, the chest. you pull off, you pull that off, and then basically from there you can pull the dress piece out. There's like a little peg there you pull out from the peg, and then swap it out. And then the third thing I wanted to try out was the base. I want to see if the base can hold her in a dynamic pose with basically none of her weight touching the floor. And basically was able to get that accomplished without tightening the screws on that base and stand. So far she can pose very good. There's one point, or maybe in the next pose, I'll probably try to show you that I kind of wish that they did a little bit better. They kind of did the same thing with one of the other figures. Was it A1, A2? I forget her name. But maybe the next pose I will show you, or one of the final poses. Something that I wish that they did. They kind of did a little bit better, covered up a little bit things better. But so far she poses good. Good base, good accessories. Oh, to swap out, to put those swords in the hands, you actually have to pull out the bottom portion of that handle. You see a little ballpoint portion right there at the bottom. You actually pull that out, and then from there you can slide the sword into the hands with no problem. You don't have to worry about heating up the hands or anything like that. So easy to swap out hands. The pegs were easy to swap out. For the swords, the head was easy to swap. I'm sorry, the face, the dress, everything so far was easy to swap out, and no problem with the standard base. So far so good. The reason I wanted to get this pose up here is I want to see if I can accomplish her standing without the base and stand, because the other two NieR figures that do have, the female ones, they have a hard time standing on their own. And I wanted to test out those ankle joints. Like I said before, I've always had issues, well, not always, most time with my Play Arcade figures, the ankles are pretty weak. And I'm happy to say her ankles so far, let's see if she falls during the review, but so far have been standing out and standing the test of time so far. This is why I wanted to get this pose. And this is also a kind of like one of her more famous poses also within the game and other images you will find with the character. So I just wanted to get two things out the way. And I'm just happy, finally, I have one that can stand on her own and not have to use that base. But more likely, I'm going to have to use the standing base because I have my other two with the standing base. So it's going to look kind of awkward to have her without the base and stand, and then the other two. Plus, I do want to have the book floating behind her, so I definitely do need to use the standing base. But like I said, I'm happy to finally have one that can stand on her own. Now, my wrist peg, the one that's holding on the lower sword, the one with the right hand, that wrist peg is pretty loose. So normally I would have to have that sword. The swords weren't supposed to touch, but I had to use the other sword to kind of balance out that loose wrist peg. So I'm definitely going to use some of my Kiki, do you love me? My Kiki fixer, the joint fixer. So I'm definitely going to be using some of that stuff on her wrist peg to tighten that joint up. Liking the figure so far. So far, not the best, I guess, from all the ones I have so far, but so far the best articulated and best joint so far from the NieR girls, which I'm going to show you in the next final pose coming up right now. There is all three of my NieR girls. And no, we're not talking about the old school shaving cream that, you know, the commercial, who wears short shorts, we wear. No. We're not talking about that. We're talking about NieR, the video game. And these are the three females that released from this series so far from Play Arcade. And out of the three, I do have to admit, character-wise, maybe because I didn't finish the game, Kaine is probably like my least favorite of the three characters. Just the character in general, not the figure. But when it comes to figure form, I would say Kaine is my favorite of the three when it comes to articulation and the poses you can get away with without the basically standing base. So obviously, it's a cool figure. It's not, to me, it's not a must-have. If you're a NieR Automata fan, then these two right here are definitely a must. But if you just like NieR Automata and you basically like design those two characters, you can get away with just getting these two right here and skip on Kaine. But if you like the whole series in general, the story and then the characters, then yes, I would say Kaine is a good pickup just because she can articulate very good. And she has a little presence there, you know, basically she stands out between the two. You know, the other two have more of the black, all black kind of goth looking colors going on. So she has that blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors. So she does pop out a little bit more. So I'm pretty satisfied with this purchase. Like I said, this is not a must buy. If you're a fan of it, then yes, get it. But you know, if you can skip on it, then skip on it. But to me, it was a good purchase. And you know, I'm not afraid to say, you know, you can be a little purr sometimes. So you can see all that cool over there on that, you know, on that screen right now. It's a good thing to look at sometimes. You know, throw a little different spice and some kind of flash into your collection. But anyways, collectors, if you enjoyed this figure and you enjoyed this review, please hit that like, subscribe button. Click that bell notification so you can be notified of upcoming reviews and future content I'm going to be delivering to you guys, my fellow collectors. And as always, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.